Welcome back to the Hoops Lounge. We're the show that eats less cheeseburgers than Ray Allen. My name is Marc Griffin, aka Montreal Marc, joined by my partner in crime, Phil Boileau, sporting Phil. We're talking cheeseburgers, hamburgers, Jesus Shellsworth, and Mr. Ray Allen may be coming back to the NBA this season. Where do you think he's going to end up?
Ray Allen, I mean, he seems one of those guys that should be on a team already, right? Consummate professional.
Taking his time.
Been there, done that, knockdown shooter from outside, and is always in peak condition, even at the latter stages of his career.
Paleo diet. He's been doing that for a long time. Keeps his body in perfect shape. He's training in Miami, which tells me he's not going to stay in Miami. It's kind of...
I don't see Miami, especially with their slide. I think it'll be interesting. People have tied him in with Cleveland for a long time. And Cleveland has been making some weird moves at the two-guard position, being at Sean Marion, being at a couple of their point guards. I'm forgetting the taller European one. He would fit a need there, but there are also a lot of teams like OKC with his ability to bring that veteran presence, the outside shooting, along with the slashers. Imagine him and Kevin Durant just bombing from outside. I think those two, East and West, have to be my favorites right now: Cleveland Cavaliers and the OKC Thunder.
It's weird. My sentimental pick was going back to where it all started, Milwaukee, since they have an up-and-coming team. But he didn't want it. They offered him a spot early in the year. Everyone has been offering him a spot.
Well, they're not really going to contend, so it's a tough spot.
I think he's going to go to a team in the West where all the fun is pretty much taking place these days. Sorry, Raptors. But, I mean, the West is so deep. I think he wants that one final challenge. And there's no way in heck he's going to the Spurs because his legacy is making that shot over the Spurs. So I don't think he can cross sides. I mean, he's kind of cross sides with Boston and kind of KG.
And they have enough shooting guards. Between your Danny Greens, Marco Bellinelli's, Manu Ginobili's, I mean, they're kind of set there.
Yeah, and so for me, I mean, I would look through the West and said, who is sort of in a contender next to be clear to be on that route to be a contender situation that needs him to fill a niche role? And I went with Portland. They're a very solid team, great culture, no depth at all.
Would he start or come off the bench?
Off the bench.
With Weston Matthews?
Off the bench.
You know what? I like your thought process going in the West contender. I'm going to throw another name at you, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, so him and Vince kind of hanging out, old men. Yeah.
Stretching the floor. It gives them that very interesting Courtney Lee, Tony Allen for the defense, and Ray Allen. And they have that inside presence, inside-outside, Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph, two great passers. I think that could create some trouble for a lot of teams. Yeah,
and there's a lot of teams out there, Golden State's been floated around, these other teams. I think the Raptors too, but there can be a spoil of riches. I think you can have too much of a good thing. If he went to a team like that that's already loaded and deep on the bench, he's not going to play. So why would he want to go to a situation like that?
Well, how about Houston? A little bit of depth
there.
Too
many knuckleheads. I think he doesn't want that. He wants to go out, with a clear head. I think there's just too much locker room stuff going on behind the scenes in a team like Houston.
And just for a counter argument, although your point of wanting to go back home with Milwaukee, technically OKC, Seattle, where that kind of tied. But
maybe if they were in Seattle.
Maybe they're in Seattle. But how about the Chicago Bulls?
Too deep.
Too deep?
Too deep. He wouldn't play.
Even at the two-guard position?
McBuckets is out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Who couldn't really play the two, so they only had Jimmy, and Jimmy can play both. Jimmy can slide up to the three, start him with Rose. I think he would play really well there. I think Thibodeau would actually like Ray Allen.
He's got a point. So I'm saying Portland. I like your choices. Memphis, OKC-ish, and Chicago's a dark horse there.
I actually think he's holding out. I think his number. This is psychic Phil speaking.
Right.
I think he wants to go to Cleveland, but he wants that ship to be righted first. He wants to make sure that they can work.
Yeah.
And they were sputtering at the start, right? And I think if they don't make it work, I think it's Chicago. And I think if they make it work, he joins LeBron in Cleveland.
It's a good thing to have options. So we'll see where Ray Allen ends up, and we got it on tape. Phil, what do you have coming up this week?
Well, this week I just finished shooting another video, which I'm going to release to you guys, another Fill in the Trade with Mr. Justin Rowan from hoopslounge.com, where we cover the Boston Celtics. These guys have a lot of pieces that could be moved. We go into that, where it would make some sense, and some interesting picks are going to come out of this. So look forward to this later on in the week, possibly Wednesday, Thursday. And yeah, as always, please check out our website and give us lots of feedback. hoopslounge.com, contributors at the top, where you can find all of our contact information if you ever want to get in contact with us, and all of our great content, being it videos, podcasts, articles, anything in between. We love to start the conversation. We do this stuff for you guys. So for Marc, myself, Thanks for joining us in the lounge.
See you soon, Ray.
Burgers.